If you'd told Jessica 2 weeks prior that she would be leaping off the top of a parking garage in downtown Chicago, she would have laughed. But then, 2 weeks ago, Jessica was like everyone else, working nights at the tech startup, skipping workouts, mostly minding her own business in a city of 2 million people. But that changed on a Thursday. She was walking home after a closing meeting, airhead phone in one hand, when she heard yelling from the side street. Reflexively, Jessica glanced over just in time to see a mugger sprinting away from an older man, clutching a black backpack. Instinct said, "Keep walking," but something made her cross the street instead. That night would matter. Jessica had always been ... ordinary. She wasn't physically imposing. She'd never once gotten into a real fight. Her proudest accomplishment was memorizing every shortcut on her ride to work. But in that moment, something else kicked in. The mugger, distracted by traffic, never saw her coming. Adrenaline carried Jessica through as she caught up, yanked the backpack free, and disappeared into the crowd before he realized what hit him. For the rest of the night, her heart hammered in her ears. 1,000 what-ifs spun through her head. The man whose property she'd salvaged tried to press a $50 bill into her hand. She refused. She slept only fitfully. But the next day was different. The world no longer felt indifferent. Jessica tried to write it off as a one-time surge of adrenaline. But when she recounted the story to her friend Maya that afternoon, Maya's eyes went wide. "You should do it again," she said, grinning. "Be a real-life superhero. Call me if you need a sidekick." It was a joke, but it stuck. That weekend, Jessica mapped out a new route for her after-work walks. She bought a cheap scanner and followed updates from neighborhood social media groups. At first, nothing happened, but late Friday, as mist rolled in and the city's lights flickered, she heard the banging from a locked alley. It was a burglary. Jessica called 911 first, just like every good citizen, but the operator warned response times were overloaded. The banging went on. She hesitated, then decided. The alley was pitch dark. Jessica pulled her jacket tight around her, squared her shoulders, and did her best imitation of someone brave. "Hey!" she shouted, as if she had backup minutes away. "I'm calling the cops!" "Get out of there!" The burglar startled, slipped, and took off into the night. For a moment, Jessica could hardly believe it. She was shaking. She spent the rest of the night unable to sleep, listening for sirens, half expecting to be in trouble herself. In truth, Jessica never got super strength, no radioactive spider, no billionaire fortune. What she did have was a knack for planning, a phone that recorded well in low light, and she discovered a certain dogged persistence. She got bolder. She added a bright blue windbreaker, easy to spot, but hard to identify over her work clothes. She handed in security footage. She captured 2 local police, anonymously at first, then under her own name. The police, predictably, were skeptical. Vigilantism, they said, was a slippery slope. She made mistakes. One night, she trailed a suspected bike thief for 6 blocks, only to discover they were simply moving their own bike to avoid street cleaning. Another time, she intervened in a shouting match that turned out to be a couple arguing over dinner plans. Each time, Jessica apologized and slunk away, chastened but undeterred. But successes followed. On a frigid March evening, she stopped a scam targeting elderly residents at an ATM, warning the would-be victims before the scammers could act. She started a group chat for other locals to share neighborhood problems and stepped up as a community liaison, helping coordinate patrols between bars and train stations. She learned to look for trouble without looking for it. The media caught wind. An article appeared online. "Who's the blue windbreaker? Chicago's anonymous guardian." Jessica ignored it at first, but word spread in her neighborhood. Some people asked her for help finding lost pets or flipped bikes upright themselves after seeing her. There were moments of doubt. What if she got hurt? What if the wrong person fought back? Each night, she lay awake, replaying choices, and still, she put on her windbreaker. Jessica never got a cape. She never scaled skyscrapers. But the city changed in small ways. People held doors for each other. Neighbors looked out for one another. Volunteers increased at the shelter. The blue windbreaker became a symbol not of heroism, but of effort, of caring. As for Jessica, she realized she was indeed different from anyone else, just a little more determined to show up when it mattered. The city didn't need a superhero. It just needed someone to start.